Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahweh Shah, Yahweh, Bahashil, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Barak Dash. All praises, honor, glory, love, respect, faith, and power, and trust, and all credit to my Heavenly Father, Yahweh, and my Heavenly Big Brother, Yahweh Shah. Thank you so much for what you've done, what you're doing, and what you're going to do. Double honors to the apostles and elders and bishops of GMS, Great Millstone, who I learned from, and all the men scattered all over the world, teaching His truth and none but the truth in the name, spirit, and the power of Yahweh Bashim Shah. Trying to put a spiritual bug in you Hebrew Israelites' ears, you so-called blacks, Latinos, Hispanics, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, and you speckled birds. And what is a speckled bird? That'd be a Hebrew Israelite that look like some of the heathen nations. Like, for example, a Hebrew Israelite that look like a so-called white person, or so-called Chinese person, or so-called Indian person, etc., etc. Got some videos lined up on war and what's going on with these nations, bumping heads and doing stuff that's war-related. But anyway, I'm going to play these videos. I'm going to get into the scripture my best ability. Say whatever I got to say through spirit. Say whatever I got to say through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Shah, the Holy Spirit, the Krahak Dash, Lord willing, be on me. Let's get it.
Moving on, Iran's missiles have put America's war machine under pressure. The USS Abraham Lincoln was pushed away from a vital supply route as Washington weighs an exit. Now Donald Trump is reaching for more sanctions, while Tehran says the economic assault will fail. Our next report brings you the latest situation from West Asia and where the US and Iran they stand at this particular juncture. Take a look.
The sea is unforgiving. Nuclear-powered ships can carry immense firepower, but they cannot fight without fuel, food, spare parts and safe ports. In the Gulf, every supply line has become a target. Every missile alert carries a warning that America's campaign may be running out of room. The USS Abraham Lincoln has been at the center of the storm. The supercarrier was forced to leave the battle zone. It dominated headlines for all the wrong reasons. At the beginning of the war, the Iranian attack in retaliation for the American-Israeli assault on Tehran targeted one of America's most crucial naval bases in Bahrain. The attack destroyed much of the base in Bahrain, which is home to the US Fifth Fleet, as well as a major logistics hub. The US Navy had relied on this base for decades. The Pentagon needed a plan B to feed sailors working around the clock to keep warplanes flying strike missions and later enforce a blockade of Iran's ports. With Iranian attacks threatening other regional ports, the US military turned to the British-run base on Diego Garcia, south of the Maldives and roughly 3,500 kilometers from the carrier strike groups operating in the Gulf of Oman. The loss of Bahrain's hub has contributed to reported problems aboard carriers supporting operations against Iran, while Democratic senators raise concerns about the Lincoln's 5,000 sailors and their nearly 9-month deployment. The Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, rejected those accounts as seriously misrepresented. But the resupply controversy has intensified questions about the carrier's condition and Washington's ability to sustain the war against Iran. Iran's missile campaign has forced American commanders to defend bases, ships and logistics hubs across the region. Interceptors are consumed. Aircraft need protection. Warships must keep moving. The USS Abraham Lincoln.
And then you got people that's on them ships jumping off them ships.
Has left.
Either I don't know if it's true if they stabbing each other to death on those ships too, but it's not looking so good. And that gonna hammer of the earth military is cracking. It's showing some cracks.
And USS George Washington has now entered the Persian Gulf. American military planners describe the move as a usual one, but a closer look shows it is a forced retreat.
Underestimating, let's say, the Iranian power at the end of the day. The Americans have been thinking it's a matter of, let's say, 1 week, perhaps 2 weeks, to get a regime change in Tehran. They've missed the story totally, because they have totally underestimated the value of the Strait of Hormuz on the Iranian side. They are condemned just to negotiate. But Trump doesn't want to show this weakness ahead of the midterm elections in the US. This is the situation where we are.
Now, behind the scenes, the Pentagon is examining a smaller American military presence in the Gulf once the war ends. That points to a possible strategic reset. Donald Trump wants to claim victory, reduce the risk to US forces, and avoid a conflict that keeps expanding. The United States maintains around 40,000 military personnel stationed across nearly 20 key installations and bases in West Asia. Spanning from Jordan to Oman, Kuwait and Qatar host major long-term army and air force support infrastructure. But leaving is not simple. Iran can threaten bases, shipping lanes and energy routes. A hurried exit could look like defeat, and Iran is firm that the Strait of Hormuz remains shut until all their demands are fully met.
And let me make it clear, until America implements its commitments under the Memorandum of Understanding, including lifting the blockade on the release of frozen assets, lifting the oil sanctions, ending threats and military operations on all fronts, and other conditions that America has agreed to under the understanding, the strait will not be reopened.
The US president is maintaining a bold posture and sticking to its core demand that Iran cannot be left unchecked.
Well, they want to make a deal, but they're not going to make the kind of a deal that I feel is necessary. Look, we're in there for one reason.
Man, you people gonna suffer. A lot of you Americans and other people that's feeling this shit all over the world gonna suffer. Gonna suffer. But a lot of you Americans, y'all gonna suffer.
Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon.
Nigga, it ain't about this, nigga. Stop that shit, nigga. It ain't about no damn nukes, nigga. God damn, stop with that lie. People starting to catch up and realize, nigga, you lying, nigga.
You understand that? Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon, and they won't have a nuclear weapon. And right now, them building one after what we did previously with the B-2 bombers, going to be a long time behind. But Iran cannot have. It's very simple. They can't have a nuclear weapon.
Oh my goodness, shut up.
Washington has now turned to economic pressure. Trump's administration promises sanctions unlike anything Iran has faced. Tehran says they will fail.
That nigga look like he's deteriorating so much, so fast.
Iranian officials insist pressure will
Talking about Trump.
not break the country's resistance or force surrender.
That's it for that. Yeah, America, the hammer of the earth is showing some cracks.
Iranian missiles have put more pressure on the American war machine. Now the USS Abraham Lincoln was pushed away from a vital route as Washington weighs an exit. Now Donald Trump is looking for more sanctions while Tehran is saying that the economic assault will fail. Our next story brings you the latest on this situation where both Iran and the Americans seem to be locked. Take a look.
The sea is unforgiving. Nuclear power.
Wait a minute. I've seen this already. Yeah. It's playing in the same video. Yep, the same one as the one before. Yep, sure is. Well, let's get rid of this one. And move on to this next one.
The United States has suffered shocking new losses in war with Iran. 50 more military personnel have been hit in the ongoing clashes. The equation in West Asia war has dramatically changed in the last 6 months, which Washington entered as the world's superpower. The Pentagon has confirmed that more than 750 U.S. service members have been wounded during the conflict. According to the Defense Department's casualty database, more than 50 additional wounded service members have now been added. This comes as talks between Tehran and Washington remain deadlocked. Since the U.S. launched the war against Iran on February 28, 18 American service members have been killed and another 757 have been wounded. That is according to combined figures from the Defense Casualty Analysis System, or DCAS, covering overseas.
Trying to remove this shit. What the fuck is this? They don't. Whatever.
Operations and Operation Epic Fury. But what is DCAS? It is the Defense Department system used to track military.
I get tired of seeing ass popping up on my whatchamacallit, on this whole list. I want to just try to remove them. But they gonna show up regardless.
Casualties, including those killed, wounded, and where applicable missing. And there is now a new category in that database. Last month, the Pentagon created an overseas operations category for casualties dating back to July 7th. But it has not explained which conflict those casualties relate to. And the date is significant. It was the same day when Trump administration told Congress that a new conflict with Iran had begun in a War Powers Act notification. Under the resolution, the president generally has to notify Congress within 48 hours of introducing U.S. forces into hostilities. But the casualty figures themselves have already raised questions. Last month, 4 deaths and dozens of injuries suddenly disappeared from DCAS totals. Later, they were restored. The Defense Department blamed it on what it called temporary data disruptions. And now the numbers are back in focus just as the war continues. Iran, meanwhile, has put forward a much higher estimate. On August 9, Iranian military advisor Mohsen Raisi claimed that nearly 500 US soldiers had been killed in Iranian strikes in July, with hundreds more wounded. Iranian state-linked media also claimed that the US had acknowledged around 650 casualties. Earlier in March, Iran's top security official Ali Larijani claimed that more than 500 American soldiers had been killed in the first days of the war. Those Iranian figures have not been independently verified, but the casualty debate is only one part of the pressure building on the US military. The war is also stretching America's forces, weapons and finances. The Pentagon is reportedly reconsidering its military footprint across the Gulf. That could mean reducing or repositioning some forces after Iranian attacks damaged American bases. At the same time, the price of the war is climbing. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says Iran war has already cost $37.5 billion.
Yeah, and then this same nigga talking about some, we got enough weapons to fight this war for a long time. Trump too saying the same thing. I'm like, nigga, that's a goddamn lie. Shit, y'all niggas failing. Why don't just go and take, well, I can't say they can't take the L because they too powerful to take the L. But then also, ultimately, is Yahweh Shemal Shah controls these niggas and get you keep on going. And don't stop. Keep on going. So somebody fuck up and they gonna make this war escalate and get worse. So yeah, that's what we want. We want this shit to go forward and make World War III more heated.
It is prudent planning. It could eventually shape decisions on whether Washington should rebuild bases damaged during months of Iranian missile and drone attacks. Decisions are going to have to be made on some of this stuff.
Then comes another problem: ammunition. The conflict has consumed large quantities of air defense interceptors and precision weapons. That is putting pressure on already limited US stockpiles. ACSIS assessment says Patriot interceptors inventories have fallen below 1,000. THAAD inventories are estimated.
I tell you, they keep reporting this shit so much, but then your president keeps saying, and I'm talking about you hardcore Babylonians that believe in this bullshit ass country. Speaking of that, I'm playing, what's the game called? Marvel, Tokon, Fighting Soul. And you got Captain America. This motherfucker is ridiculous. I like, nigga, I ain't never playing you as a character again. If I start to do that sequence combo shit with it's all dramatic and shit, you know where they do all the, it kind of like Dragon Ball Fighters, but it's Marvel characters. But you playing as Captain America, this nigga talking about I'm here to save America, but the fighting the American dream. He's saying shit like that. I'm like, nigga, get the fuck out of here, nigga. Get the fuck out of here. This shit corny as fuck. This Lord about to nuke the shit out of this bitch. And these people got these characters on this game talking about some damn the American dream is stay alive. Yeah, like, nigga. Anyway, this shit is stupid. I'm about tired of this fucking all this American bullshit. And I know the Lord is too. And you see in America looking like a laughing stock.
At around 250. And now the Pentagon is pushing defense companies to speed up production and deliveries. Some critical munitions are already described as being in extreme shortage. And the concern goes far beyond Iran. If stocks continue to fall, Washington could face a tougher question. Can it fight one war and still remain ready for another? Especially in the Indo-Pacific. And while weapons are being counted, so is the toll on the people using them too. Take the USS Abraham Lincoln, for instance. Nearly 5,000 sailors and Marines have been deployed for almost 9 months. More than 200 days have reportedly passed without a port call.
I bet they are tired as hell.
For the crew, the strain is becoming harder to ignore. Reports from sailors, families and media outlets have raised concerns over fatigue, living conditions, supply problems and even mental health.
Yeah, we heard about all that. Oh, well, they said, so what? So the fuck what? You sign up for this shit? Nigga, you gonna serve this shit until your ass die. Let's get to the next video. But, hey, it's showing them kinks, the kinks and the damn cracks in the damn, the hammer of America. You know, the hammer of the earth is showing those kinks and them cracks. Yep.
An emergency alarm, a sudden descent, and then complete silence. A US aircraft has reportedly vanished from flight radar over the highly volatile Strait of Hormuz. And as the mystery surrounding its disappearance deepens, speculation is growing. Did Iran shoot down an American aircraft? The aircraft in question is reportedly an E-3G Century
I ain't saying this right here. Iran shot down aircraft was a question mark.
AWACS, one of America's key airborne surveillance and command platforms. According to a Russian report citing Flight Radar 24, the aircraft transmitted the emergency 7700 squawk code before disappearing from radar. But what does 7700 mean? It is the international transponder code for a general emergency. In simple terms, the pilot or crew uses it to alert air traffic control that the aircraft is in distress and may require immediate assistance. But there is an important caveat. A 7700 signal does not mean the aircraft was attacked. It just tells us there was an emergency, but not what caused it. And that uncertainty is now at the centre of this mystery, because this was no ordinary aircraft. The E-3G Sentry is often described as America's eye in the sky. At its heart, it is a huge 30-foot rotating radar dome, the aircraft's most recognisable feature. From the sky, it can build a picture.
Ain't that shit? They supposed to be. Oh no. I thought they supposed to be replacing. No, that's some other kind. I think Canada was gonna replace that shit. They were looking at buying one of these, but instead they buying the Saab version. I think it's Sweden. Yeah, they said we don't want that American garbage.
Of what is happening across a vast area. Its radar can detect and locate targets at distances of more than 402 kilometres, with coverage stretching from the surface to the stratosphere. But the E-3G does much more than watch. It can also track aircraft, missiles and drones, while helping commanders monitor activity on the ground. At sea, it can also direct fighter aircraft, coordinate missions and support air battle management. In effect, it can function as a flying command centre. The aircraft is designed...
I don't give a fuck about all this shit.
And drone attack on Prince Sultan Air Base in Saudi Arabia. So, an American surveillance aircraft disappearing after declaring an emergency over the same strategic point is bound to raise some questions. But why is Hormuz such a dangerous flashpoint? Well, because the narrow waterway is not just another stretch of sea, it is one of the world's most important energy routes. And right now, it is also at the centre of the US-Iran confrontation. Some ships are still moving through the strait, but traffic remains far below normal. Major tankers are largely absent, and the dispute over who controls access and how safely ships can pass remains unresolved. That makes every movement through Hormuz more sensitive, and military forces are operating around the global waterway, drones in the sky, warships at sea, and commercial tankers trying to pass. There have been reports that the US has secretly established a shipping corridor in the Strait of Hormuz to keep oil flowing.
We have been controlling the southern lane of the Strait of Hormuz for 2 months now. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps can be a nuisance, but they don't control the strait. We do.
Now, Iran is yet to respond to the reported move, but in this environment, even a single emergency can quickly become a major security concern. And that brings us back to the missing E-3G.
Alright, well, fuck that shit. Anyway, man, these niggas got planes getting shot down or missing, and you got daggone seamen committing suicide, and a lot of them niggas are dying, and even if it's out in the sea, the air, the land, soldiers dying, and the U.S. soldiers are dying. It ain't looking so good for America. Jeremiah chapter 50 verse 23. How is the hammer of the earth cut asunder and broken? It ain't completely gone, but I just want to read this because this is coming pretty soon. How is Babylon, America, become a desolation among the nations? I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, America, and thou was not aware. Thou art found and also caught because thou has damn, how you pronounce that word? I can't even pronounce the word right now. It's off the tip of my tongue. God damn, you can't even find it, dang. Striven. Come on now. Damn. Striven, yeah. And I'm like, why does it take so long for that junk to load up? My internet's so daggone slow. Has striven against the Lord Yahweh. And what does striven mean? I gotta go back and see what it means. I mean, I could look up on the blue letter, but that takes too long, man. Cause then I still haven't figured out how the blue letter work. What's striven? Striven means the part of particular. Group signs is to try very hard, make great effect, or struggle against difficulty, straits, to reach a goal. Yeah, and that goal is failure. Absolute failure. Yeah, they trying to go against the grain of Yahweh B'Shem Awashah, but it ain't working out so well. The Lord Yahweh has opened his armor and have brought forth the weapons of his indignation. For this is the work of the Lord Yahweh, God of hosts, in the land of the Chaldeans. Come against her from the uttermost border. Open her storehouses, cast her up as heaps, and destroy her utterly. Let nothing of her be left. Talking about America. The Lord gonna destroy this bitch with nuclear fire. But right now the Lord is beating the shit out of American military and just everything about America. The fucking American dream dead. Fuck you, Captain America. Piece of shit. Talking about on that game, what that game called? Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. Fuck that nigga. I'm never gonna play Captain America character again. I only played it once. I don't want to play that motherfucking faggot. Hell no. That corny ass shit. Come on, something. What he says? Liberty uppercut. God dang, what else he say? Justice swing. I'm like, shut up, nigga, with that damn justice. Oh, America full of shit. They talking about I mean, y'all niggas need to stop this fucking shit. It's fake. There ain't no justice here. There ain't no damn liberty here. Ain't no freedom here. Talking about some freedom thrash. Man, I'm like, what the? I'm just like, no, bruh. Cut that shit out. Hell no. Goddamn colonizers. Captain Colonizer. Dun, dun, dun. Shit. Fuck that dumb shit. Boy, I can't wait for Lord kill this motherfucker. America. Let's get to the next one. Oh yeah, here goes some talking about a missing airplane, but now they talking about Israel wants America's secret F-47. Oh, yeah, 47, that's after Trump. Anyway, fighter jet as global arms race heats up. Yeah, they be the first of the nations to get this shit. Yeah, they got first deals. They got a reserve. They probably want the shit before it even finish. Why they want the shit? Hell, they about to lose soon as they might not even release that damn plane anytime soon.
It's something that nobody has seen before, from speed to maneuverability to the payload. No
But shit, it ain't gonna be nothing compared to the Chariots, nigga. They know that.
existing jet in the world even comes close to it. These words of US President Donald Trump continue to resonate as anticipation continues to build around America's F-47 stealth fighter jet. And as the global arms race also heats up, Israel is now reportedly eyeing this very jet. First, take a look at this. In March last year, Trump, along with the US Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, showed an artistic rendering of this sixth-generation aircraft. However, only a small part of the aircraft and the landing gear was visible. The jet is named after Donald Trump, who is the President of the United States.
Now, you know that shit gonna be a flop. It's gonna be a flop. You like this motherfucking president? That motherfucker's a flop. You know this piece of shit gonna be a flop.
The 47th
America is a flop. Fuck American dreaming. Fuck you, Captain America.
President of the United
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep saying that shit. I hate that nigga on that game.
States, hence the name. The F-47 program, in fact, remains mired in secrecy. Just a few details have come to the surface. Let's tell you what is known. This will be the world's first sixth-generation jet. It will be manufactured by Boeing, with its first flight likely in 2028.
Hopefully America be destroyed already. Yeah. And yeah, they won't see the day of light or any, this bitch, hopefully, oh man, I hope 2027 at least will be the year that all this shit will be over with.
According to the US Air Force
And again, it might not be. It might be 2028.
Chief, it is being designed to achieve top speed exceeding Mach 2 while maintaining extreme stealth. Not just that, it can strike targets at least 1,850 kilometers away. It will have capabilities to counter the most sophisticated adversaries. Now, this is intended to replace the F-22 fighter jet, which is a fifth-generation jet, potent for ground attack and electronic warfare.
The F-47 will also have a new generation of sensors capable of fusing battlefield data across land, sea, and space domains.
Alright, man, these niggas still gonna lose. I mean, damn, America. But Amalek he want dibs. Yeah, Amalek want dibs. Anyway, whatever. Let's see what this is about. Why is the F-35 need only one pilot? Oh, I don't want to play that shit. I don't give a fuck about that. Let's get to this one.
And now on to our final report. A senior Russian general has issued a stark warning about Israel. The general said that if the West Asia
Israel, Amalek.
The war continues to escalate, the country could ultimately cease to exist as a state. Lieutenant General Abdi Allah Yudanov, who is the commander...
Well, the Lord's going to make that happen. Shit, the state of Israel? No. Where's that in the scriptures?
...of Russia's Akhmat Special Forces, said the ongoing conflict between the US and Iran will continue to rage for a while. He further accused Israel of trying to widen the conflict.
I believe that is precisely Israel's objective, to ramp up the conflict as much as possible and drag both the US and the entire NATO bloc into it. They are good at this. Ultimately, they will overestimate their strength and cease to exist as a state.
Yeah. Eventually, NATO going to turn against US and who is it? Israel. They already, some of them NATO countries, or like Turkey, separating from, I don't know. I'm hearing they're going to separate from NATO. U.S. talking about separating from NATO. Shit, I don't know. They probably ain't. They going to still stay with NATO until NATO's goddamn shoot. NATO, EU start shooting missiles at them niggas.
His claim is that more than the war expands, the greater the possibility is that Israel could face consequences that go far beyond its original military objectives. His comments also come against the backdrop of Moscow's own position on the conflict. Russia has reportedly provided ample assistance to Iran. According to US intelligence, Iran has used Russian-enhanced versions of Shahed drones. These are the same drones Iran previously supplied to Russia for its war with Ukraine. Iran is also said to have utilized Russia's inputs to attack US forces and assets during the war. Recent reports also claim that Russia sent explosives and drone parts to Iran using a secret Caspian Sea corridor. So Russia's involvement and investment in the conflict is far from passive. Meanwhile, for Israel, Iran may be the biggest front in this war, but the country is also dealing with tensions on multiple other fronts. Israel maintains a military presence in southern Lebanon could combat the Iran-allied Hezbollah. Tel Aviv has explicitly tied its withdrawal from the region to Hezbollah's disarmament. Hezbollah, on the other hand, has rejected such efforts, creating a major stalemate on Israel's northern border. Syria has also become an increasingly important front. Most recently, Israel confirmed carrying out at least 8 airstrikes on a non-functional Syrian airbase close to the Turkish border. Now, for years, Israel has raised concerns over Turkey's growing military role in Syria. Tel Aviv sees the expanding Turkish presence as a potential security threat. But Israel has also continued its routine ground incursions into Syrian territory. All of this means Israel is now dealing with a complex and expanding security environment, with multiple flashpoints along its borders and the risk of further regional escalation still very much present. And the Russian general's warning comes at a particularly tense moment. Negotiation efforts between the US and Iran have failed to produce a lasting breakthrough. And with diplomacy stalling, Trump is signaling that Washington could keep the pressure on Tehran.
The blockade has been 100% successful. No boats have gotten into Iran, but they are getting in for other places. But we'll see. We're going to see what happens. It'll either be extremely good and oil prices are going to drop like a rock, or we'll continue to do exactly what we're doing.
So while the West Asia war shows no end in sight, the Russian general's prediction underlines just how high the stakes have become for Israel.
Big shifts don't announce themselves.
Well, that's it for that.
Tensions have sharply escalated between Israel and Turkey over Syria.
Tensions with Russia and Israel, or Amalek, and now you got tensions with Turkey and Amalek.
After Israeli airstrikes on August 18th,
I guess so, with Syria.
Targeting the Abu al-Duhur airbase near Aleppo. Despite US floating the idea of establishing a deconfliction mechanism, the war of words continued between Israel and Turkey. Israel hit the airbase and alleged that Syria was on the verge of violating a status quo agreed with Israel in security matters by allowing Turkish troops to deploy at the airbase. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu doubled down on his warning that Israel will not tolerate Turkish military presence moving south in Syria.
We will not tolerate Turkish military presence establishing itself as it moves south. It threatens us. We conveyed that clearly. Now we saw that Turkey intends to establish presence in the airport southern to its lines and close to Aleppo, so we conveyed a message. The message went through, but it seems that they did not listen, and so we made sure that they will understand it better.
Southern Syria has been historically a bone of contention for Israel and Syria. Netanyahu had earlier issued an ultimatum demanding the full demilitarization of southern Syria. The security situation around the Golan Heights has escalated rapidly, marked by an expanding Israeli military footprint. It is this corridor that Israel used to launch the wave of airstrikes on Tuesday at the Abu al-Duhur military base. Israel justified the strikes by claiming it was a preemptive measure to block Turkish troops from deploying south towards the Golan border, a claim that Turkey has vehemently denied. Hitting out at Israel, its defense ministry said Turkey will continue supporting Syria's efforts to develop its own military capacity and infrastructure.
Our efforts and contributions towards preserving Syria's sovereignty and territorial integrity and helping it achieve stability and security will continue with determination.
Turkey maintains that there was no military delegation present at the airbase hit by Israel before or during the airstrikes. Ankara called for the international community to take more concrete and effective measures against Israel's actions, which it said threatened regional peace and stability. In a statement, the Turkish presidency said, and I quote, "We experienced enough not to fall into the trap of figures like Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who aims to undermine peace and stability in our region." While Netanyahu finds himself staring at another conflict, he is not finding any support from his biggest ally, the United States, or within his own country. Former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak accused Netanyahu of being reckless and stupid in escalating tensions with Turkey. In a post on X, Barak pointed out that Turkey is not Iran or Assad's Syria, and that there is no strategic problem with Turkey that cannot be solved. Barak claimed Netanyahu has completely gone off the rails. The United States also criticized the attack, with the American envoy for Syria, Tom Barak, calling it an unnecessary escalation. U.S. Ambassador to Israel, Mike Huckabee, confirmed that Washington is setting up a de-escalation process and de-confliction mechanism. The diplomatic push aims to prevent future miscommunication and avoid an outright military conflict.
Big old rough sacks. Anyway, I forgot what they call it. I think rough sacks. That don't big old motherfucker.
Confrontation between Israel
carrying about 100 pounds in them suckers.
And Turkish forces. Turkey, which has NATO's second largest army, has emerged as one of Syrian President Ahmed al-Shaara's main allies. It has accused Israel of trying to destabilize Syria. Though the Syrian president has not issued a direct personal statement regarding the recent strikes near Aleppo, his administration has forcefully condemned the attack.
The most relaxing game for left-brained thinkers.
What if there was a game?
Well, tensions continue to brew between China and Taiwan, and in the latest, Taipei flagged off a Chinese research ship sailing in sensitive waters to the island's west. It claims it had warned and shadowed the vessel earlier. According to the Taiwanese Coast Guard, this is the third time that the ship has reappeared in the troubled waters. Taipei sees this as an ongoing maritime provocation. The ship, named Tongji, was commissioned in 2025 and spotted on late August 20, about 24.9 nautical miles northwest of Taiwan's Penghu Islands. This is home to major military bases as well. Taiwan claimed the ship was not observed deploying or towing any instruments, and that it sent one of its patrol boats to sail alongside the Tongji and broadcast strong warnings for it to leave. Taiwan has regularly complained of appearances by Chinese ships, including China's Coast Guard, in waters that are part of grey zone. It calls these appearances an act of harassment designed to pressure Taipei and give an impression of Chinese jurisdiction. Taiwan's Coast Guard says it proactively deploys ships in response to Chinese vessels with the aim of protecting national sovereignty and ensuring the security of its waters. Just earlier this month, Taiwan held one of its largest military drills, the Hankwang exercise. Amid the exercise, Taiwanese President Lai Ching-te channeled a morale-boosting message to naval personnel, reassuring them that in response to external threats and challenges, the government will provide maximum support.
The Hankwang exercise aims to test command coordination, battlefield adaptability, and national defense capabilities through live force, live location, and live equipment operations. In the face of external threats and challenges, the government continues to enhance our defense capabilities and provide maximum support to our armed forces and navy.
North Korea is issuing a chilling warning to Japan. Kim Yo-jong, the powerful sister of North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, has threatened Japan over its rapidly expanding military capabilities. According to reports citing North Korean state media, Kim warned that if Tokyo makes what Pyongyang calls the wrong choice by continuing its military buildup, Japan could face an immediate, annihilating attack.
Man, you know what? They say all this, but where's the footage at? Where she says this? I mean, well, anyway.
The warning comes after Japan.
I ain't saying she's a good guy, no. I ain't saying she's a bad guy. Well, shit, they all bad. They all heathens. Shit.
Japan has accelerated efforts to strengthen its long-range strike capabilities. North Korea has specifically condemned Japan's recent test of a US-made Tomahawk cruise missile from the Aegis destroyer Chokai. Pyongyang has also pointed to Japan's deployment of longer-range Type 12 missiles, high-speed weapons, and other systems designed to expand Tokyo's ability to strike targets at greater distances. Kim Yo-jong has accused Japan of abandoning its post-World War II pacifist posture and transforming itself into what she calls a war state. She has also blamed the United States for helping Japan develop these capabilities, arguing that Washington's military support is increasing the threat to North Korea and the wider region. Kim warned that North Korea would not remain a passive observer. She previously said Pyongyang would develop additional military options and make Japan regret what she described as its dangerous ambitions. The latest warning comes amid rising tensions between North Korea, Japan, South Korea, and the United States. North Korea has repeatedly condemned closer US-Japan-South Korea security cooperation, while Tokyo says its military buildup is a defensive response to threats from North Korea, China, and Russia. Kim Yo-jong also addressed other major issues in her latest statement, including US-South Korea military exercises, South Korea's nuclear submarine ambitions, Ukraine's claims about North Korean troops in Russia, and Pyongyang's growing relationship with Moscow. But the warning to Japan stands out. There has been no confirmed announcement of a specific North Korean attack or military operation against Japan. Instead, the language represents a sharp escalation in Pyongyang's threats as Japan expands its ability to conduct long-range strikes. The key question now is whether these threats remain rhetoric, or whether North Korea responds with new military moves of its own. For Japan, the warning comes as its defense strategy undergoes one of its biggest transformations in decades. And for the wider Asia-Pacific region, the confrontation between North Korea and Japan could add another dangerous flashpoint to an already tense security environment.
Japan does not have a nuclear bomb, but it has something that is now drawing a lot of attention from China. A huge soft...
They got North Korea, now you got China. Yeah, it's getting serious. And you and definitely me need to get serious with Yahweh Shema Shah. They talking a lot about them nukes.
Pile of plutonium. In fact, Beijing says that material could theoretically support thousands of nuclear warheads. And as Donald Trump reshapes America's strategy, pushing traditional allies like South Korea away, fears are growing that Japan could face pressure to rethink the nuclear question. We decode this in our next report.
The world stands on the edge of a new nuclear danger. Decades of fragile deterrence are unraveling at breakneck speed. Power vacuums, shifting alliances, and sudden strategic pivots are pushing rival nations to reconsider their ultimate defense options. A country shaped by nuclear tragedy, a policy built on restraint, a program built for energy, not war. For decades, Japan has held that line, but now a fresh claim from China is pushing a different narrative. China has now put Japan's plutonium stockpile at the center of the debate. Chinese ambassador to Russia, Zhang Hanhui, claims Japan possesses enough plutonium to make about 5,500 nuclear warheads. The Chinese claim focuses on Japanese capability, not intent, but even that is enough to stir strategic concern. But there is an important distinction. Plutonium is not itself a nuclear bomb. It's a radioactive material produced during nuclear reactions. Now, certain forms of plutonium can be used as fuel in reactors, while plutonium-239 can also be used in nuclear weapons if a country chooses to develop the necessary weapons program. Japan's nuclear infrastructure is vast. Before the Fukushima disaster, it operated over 50 reactors. Today, around 33 reactors remain operable, with 15 restarted and more in the pipeline. Tokyo has been clear and consistent. It does not possess, produce, or allow nuclear weapons. Its plutonium is declared, tracked, and monitored under international safeguards, particularly by the IAEA. Japan is the only country ever to have suffered nuclear attacks at Hiroshima and Nagasaki in 1945. Its government continues to uphold those three non-nuclear principles. Japan will not possess, manufacture, or permit the introduction of nuclear weapons into its territory. Clearly, the Chinese claim hinting at Japan's nuclear intention is without any solid reason. Yet the timing of the claim comes at a time when wars are raging in Russia, Ukraine, and West Asia. Amid this, America's security strategy is changing. It is moving away from its traditional allies in Europe and Asia. Trump has ordered a substantial reduction in US-South Korea military exercises, arguing that large drills are costly and unnecessarily provocative towards North Korea. He has also stressed his relationship with Kim Jong-un and wants to revive diplomacy with Pyongyang.
And I know Kim Jong-un very well, and he's going to be fine. As long as we have a smart president, he's going to be fine. If we have a dumb president, then he's probably not going to be so fine.
Oh my goodness, and these guys in the background like, nigga, you are dumb.
Yeah, I will be.
You are dumb. Shit.
A new missile threat may be moving closer to Ukraine as Kyiv struggles to stop Russia's ballistic strikes. Ukrainian intelligence says Moscow has received a powerful North Korean missile capable of carrying a warhead weighing up to 2,500 kilograms. This comes a day after Ukraine says 16 people were killed in Russian missile attacks on Kyiv. Our next story shares the latest update on the battlefield.
Ukraine is facing one of the most critical moments of the war. Russia continues to launch targeted attacks on Kyiv. For months, Western-supplied air defense systems shielded major cities from aerial bombardment. Now, critical stockpiles of Patriot interceptor missiles have run out. Ukrainian cities stand dangerously exposed as Moscow unleashes devastating retaliatory waves for Ukraine's deep drone strikes inside Russian territory. On the ground, it is the ordinary Ukrainians who are suffering.
We heard the air raid siren, I got out of bed, went into the children's room, and there was an explosion straight away. 3 in quick succession. The windows were blown out, and bricks flew up to our flat on the 8th floor. It nearly killed my husband. It landed about 30 centimeters away from him. The door was blown off its hinges. Well, that sort of thing.
The missile fell over there, far away, and there was a small fire there, a small one. If the firefighters had arrived and put it out, none of this would have happened. But unfortunately, the fire started sometime between 1 and 2 o'clock. I don't know the exact time. And the people who arrived later, the owners of the other stalls, said that the emergency services came to put out the fire at around 5 a.m.
Yet Ukrainian intelligence officials warn that the worst may be yet to come. According to the Defense Intelligence of Ukraine, Russia has taken delivery of the KN-30, the terrifying new North Korean ballistic missile. Intelligence assessments reveal this monster weapon carries a colossal 2,500 kilogram warhead, dwarfing previous ballistic arsenals. Ukrainian commanders fear this new weapon gives Moscow unprecedented demolition power against fortified targets and critical infrastructure. The KN-30 represents a dramatic leap in military hardware transfers between the two allied nations. While neither Moscow nor Pyongyang has officially confirmed the weapon's delivery, North Korean troops have already deployed on the front lines to fight alongside Russian forces. With Patriot missile batteries exhausted and 0 interceptors left on standby, Kyiv faces an existential air defense crisis. The arrival of North Korea's heaviest warhead yet, along with the massive Russian stockpile, signals a brutal new chapter in aerial warfare. leaving Ukrainian cities bracing for impact. Bureau Report, We Are World is One.
I start this hour with US and Asia. South Korean Defense Minister An Gyu-bak has announced that Seoul estimates North Korea possesses between 80 and 120 nuclear warheads. This assessment stands significantly higher than recent statements from US President Donald Trump, who has asserted that Pyongyang held 57 nuclear weapons. An has cautioned that it is difficult to determine an exact figure, clarifying that the numbers were derived from estimates by private research organizations and that South Korea's military cannot officially confirm them. He has reiterated that South Korea does not officially recognize Pyongyang as a nuclear weapon state under its long-standing denuclearization policy, emphasizing that the country will continue to rely on the United States nuclear umbrella. The discrepancy comes as Washington seeks to revive diplomacy with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. After ordering a scale back of joint US-South Korea military drills, North Korea has responded coldly to the move, with officials describing the reduced exercises as still provocative, as Trump indicates that he expects to meet with Kim later this year. Now we welcome Dr. Barbara Kratyuk. She's an assistant professor at Department of International Relations at Vistula University, who joins us live from Warsaw. Thank you very much, Dr. Kratyuk, for joining us once again. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you. Now, diving into our discussion, how do you analyze the current emerging this axis triangle between South Korea, North Korea, and the US? What are we to make of the discrepancies in the claims as well?
Well, first of all, I think it's very, very difficult to give a good estimate of how many missiles North Korea has. We know that many analysts say that there are at least a few dozen, and there is material for dozens more. So while Trump's estimate is plausible, we have no idea whether that's the actual number, because of course North Korea is never going to confirm the actual number. So it's equally possible that it's Minister Kim that has the right number, because of course South Korean intelligence is definitely going to stay on top of how many missiles North Korea has. So I think this is going to be very, very difficult to prove or disprove either way. And when it comes to the triangle, I think we are seeing efforts on the side of both US and South Korea to restart negotiations with the North. But when we consider what
let me pause the video. My speaker went out. Now I got to change the power state. The battery bank.
Line in.
Kim Jong-un's sister, Kim Yong-yeon, said about her doubting the direct contact between Kim and Mr. Trump, and when she said that she doesn't think a meeting is possible and that the exercises are still provocative, I think this pours a big bucket of cold water over any possibility of rapprochement between Seoul and Pyongyang.
Yes, then how do you analyze the balance that South Korea now has, that pressure on it? You know, they have to balance its relationship, US, especially President Trump, while also balancing its relationship.
Anyway, I ain't playing no more of this. Pretty much, World War III going down. Let's get the scriptures. Isaiah chapter 13, verse 4. The noise of the multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Lord Yahweh of hosts mustered the hosts of the battle. So the Lord bringing all these nations together to kill each other. Yeah, to kill each other during this World War III. Yep. And let's see. Revelation chapter 11, verse 14. The second woe has passed, and behold, the third woe come quickly. And what's involved the second woe? Well, that was World War II. And that was like major destruction when it came to the wasn't atomic bombs that hit Japan, Yakasaki and Fukushima, whatever the hell you pronounce it. Yeah, that's America right there. They dropped two bombs on them, one in the mid and one in the air and one on the ground, just to test out how much damage was afflicted on Japan, those Japanese cities. Yeah. But this third woe is involved nuclear, and it's gonna be a whole lot of nuclear bombs being dropped, blown up. It's gonna be mind-boggling. The destruction gonna be mind-boggling. Most of the destruction gonna be here in America, Babylon the Great. But it's coming quickly. It's moving fast. Oh, what else I need to look up? Let me see what else we got. Oh yeah, and then talking about nukes. That'd be the last thing you need to talk about, nukes. So let's get these scriptures. Let me see. Isaiah chapter 9 verse 5. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. That's the ancient way of fighting, close hand combat, swords and shields. But now shit, if you had brought some of them dudes from back in the days, and had them, or see the visions, that the Lord showed the visions to these people about what the future gonna look like when it comes to warfare. It's already this. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it did something to them when they seen these things, that the Lord's gonna advance the weaponries of war. And this time they showed the vision back in the old times. Yeah, the prophets damn near were losing their damn minds. Yeah, prophets were I don't want to say losing their absolute minds, but it was mind-boggling to them to see that how man advanced, but by the advancement of Yahweh Shema Shah. Yeah, but anyway, but now in this modern day, now we got weapons that's how you say it, that's devastating. But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire, and that's the weapons I'm talking about. Weapons that are devastating, like nuclear bombs, nuclear warheads, nuclear this, nuclear that, nuclear destruction. Yeah, and they gonna say when that nuclear destruction go off, it's gonna be a lot of fire. A lot of fire. Shoot, yeah. Let me see what else we got. Joel chapter 3 verse 9. Proclaim ye among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up, beat their plowshares into swords and their pruning hooks and the spears, let the weak say I'm strong. Russia say they strong, China say they were strong, Kim Jong-un from, what is he from? North Korea, they say they strong, they got warheads, they got ballistic missiles. Yeah, they got warheads attached. Well, they ain't got them attached to the ballistic missile, but they got them ready just in case if they want to launch. It says Trump. And see, it's funny. Look. How come you're not saying anything about they don't supposed to have nuclear arms? It's like, what kind of shit is this? This nigga don't say anything about these people. Like North Korea, they claim to be so crazy. They should have no nuclear, no nuclear arms or nothing like that. But say Trump snubs by nuclear king or nuke king. Well, anyway, he don't say a peep. He don't go to war with them. That's what I'm saying. He don't go to war with them. Yeah, he don't go to war with North Korea, but he'll go willing to go to war with Iran. And look what happened to his ass. What is this? Trump avails major U.S. space cause I ain't even gotta look at that no more, nigga. These niggas ain't left nowhere near past the low Earth's atmosphere. Shit, cause they pass that bitch, if they can, they'll die. Which they can't anyway. They can't pass it. But anyway, it's a bunch of dumb shit. But America, one thing is losing the war. The Lord is putting a kink in their armor and in their hammer on the whole earth. Looking weak, and all these other nations looking strong thanks to Yahweh Shema Shah. And then these other nations that once was losers gonna be still losers. Now they're gonna win. They got weapons of mass destruction, and the Lord gonna make these other nations use it on one another and kill each other. And you want to pray like heaven you don't get caught up in that destruction, because it's gonna get crazy. I think that's about it. Yeah, that's about it. But anyway, seek the Lord by seeking his prophets and take heed of what to say, and try to build a spiritual mental relationship with Yahweh Shema Shah by praying Yahweh Shema Shah, praising Yahweh Shema Shah, worshiping Yahweh Shema Shah, fearing Yahweh Shema Shah, repenting Yahweh Shema Shah. To all the men out there pushing this truth and nothing but the truth, in the name, spirit, and the power of Yahweh Shema Shah. Keep on preaching, keep on teaching, keep your faith and trust strong, Yahweh Shema Shah. Stay humble. And for you men out there that's not teaching and preaching, but you keeping your faith and trust on Yahweh Shema Shah, keep doing it. And don't be ashamed and feel bad because you're not teaching and preaching. But, you know, not everybody's a prophet. But nothing wrong with keeping your faith and trust and praying like heaven. Yahweh Shema shall give you the strength to endure. Yup. And same for you few sisters out there. Keep your faith and trust strong. Yahweh Shema shall. Stay humble. Stay in order with your man. If you ain't got no man, stay in order. Yahweh Shema shall. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. And all praises to Yahweh Bahashem. Yahweh Shah. Shalom.